Long ago, in a quiet kingdom surrounded by emerald fields and tall mountains, there lived a humble young man named Elias. He was only 21, but carried the heart of someone much older, strong, gentle, and full of purpose. When Elias was just 5, a fever swept through the kingdom and took both his parents. From that day, he became the guardian of his little brother, Liam, and his older sister, Mira, who was soon to be married. Every morning, before the sun rose over the castle walls, Elias would take his wooden cart and go down to the bustling royal market square. There he bought the freshest fruits and vegetables from the farmers who arrived from nearby villages. The people of the kingdom admired his devotion and the unmatched freshness of his goods. By dawn, the square would echo with his voice, "Fresh fruits and greens, from the royal farms to your tables." Everyone in the kingdom knew Elias's cheerful tone. They trusted him, not only for the quality of his goods, but for the purity of his heart. Even nobles who passed through the market would smile when they saw him, the hard-working young man who treated everyone like family. But among the other vendors, not everyone was happy about Elias's growing reputation. 2 sellers, Gareth, a gruff man with a sharp tongue, and Ilara, a proud woman who sold herbs, watched with envy as crowds gathered around Elias's cart. "How is it," Gareth grumbled one morning, "that his prices are higher, yet people still choose him?" Ilara narrowed her eyes. "It's his fake smile and sweet words. He's fooling everyone." Day by day, their jealousy grew like a shadow. Elias, however, remained unaware. He worked tirelessly, saving coins for Mira's wedding and for Liam's schooling at the monastery. Though his hands were calloused and his body weary, he found peace in serving others. One evening, as Elias was closing his stall, he noticed an old woman standing quietly by the fountain. Her clothes were torn, her hands trembled, and her eyes held stories of sorrow. "Good evening, mother," Elias said kindly. "You've been here many times but never bought anything. May I offer you something?" The old woman smiled faintly. "You're kind, young man, but I cannot afford your fruits. I live on what little I can find." Without hesitation, Elias packed a small basket, apples, carrots, and bread, and handed it to her. "Please take this," he said gently. "You owe me nothing. It's better these feed someone than spoil by dawn." Tears welled up in the old woman's eyes. "You remind me of my own son, before fate took him." Elias bowed humbly. "Then let me be your son, if you'll allow it." From that night onward, the woman, whose name was Agatha, came to Elias's cart every evening, and he always sent her home with food. But Gareth and Ilara saw everything. "Now he gives away his goods to beggars?" Ilara hissed. "Does he think kindness will fill his purse?" Gareth clenched his fists. "We'll make sure he pays for that foolishness." Their envy turned poisonous. One stormy evening, as Elias wheeled his cart down the lonely cobblestone road back home, Gareth and Ilara waited in the shadows. "So, Elias," Gareth sneered as they stepped out, "the kingdom's favorite merchant, feeding beggars and stealing our customers." Elias froze, clutching his cart handle. "I steal from no one," he said calmly. "I only sell what's mine." Ilara's voice was sharp as steel. "Then leave this market, or we'll make sure you never return." Before Elias could answer, Gareth lunged forward, grabbing his arm. The cart tipped, spilling fruits across the road. Elias stumbled backward. Just as fear began to grip his heart, a voice rang out through the rain. "Stop!" It was Agatha. She had followed the sound of their shouting. Despite her frail frame, she shouted again, her voice echoing through the empty street. "Help! Someone help him!" The noise drew the attention of nearby guards. Startled, Gareth and Ilara fled into the night, their plan crumbling like dust. Elias sank to the ground, trembling. Agatha rushed to him, her shawl soaked with rain. "My child, are you hurt?" she asked softly. Elias shook his head, eyes glistening. "You saved me, Mother Agatha. I owe you my life." The old woman smiled through her tears. "No, Elias. Kindness saved you. You gave when you had little, and today, that kindness returned to protect you." From that night, Elias refused to let her live alone. He brought Agatha to his small home, where Mira welcomed her warmly, and Liam quickly grew attached to her stories and gentle presence. Agatha became like a grandmother to them. She helped Mira prepare for her wedding, taught Liam how to read the old scriptures, and filled their home with laughter that had long been missing since their parents' passing. Days turned into months, and the family's bond deepened. The villagers noticed that Elias's stall seemed brighter than ever, not because of the fruits he sold, but because of the peace that radiated from his heart. Gareth and Alara, who once thrived on envy, soon found themselves alone and forgotten. The villagers had seen through their bitterness, while Elias's kindness had earned him a place not just in the market, but in everyone's hearts. One afternoon, as the sun bathed the kingdom in gold, Agatha said softly, "Elias, you gave freely without expecting anything. That is what true greatness means." Elias smiled. "Then I have learned that the richest man is not the one who sells the most, but the one whose heart never runs out of giving." And from that day on, the tale of Elias, the kind merchant, spread across the kingdom, a story whispered to children for generations, reminding them that envy fades, but kindness forever shines.